There are many behavioral differences between ponies and donkeys and mules, and we see a lot of different issues at the sanctuary, so we have to understand their behavior and how they think in order to help them. Ponies typically will react to pressure more like a horse will. They will move away from pressure, and they are more reactive than, say, a donkey. A pony is a lot more like a horse in that way with their behavior. Ponies do tend to be more opinionated than their horse relatives, and they don't react well to being manhandled. Because they're small, they're often pushed around, and they do not react well to that, even though it is maybe easy to do given their size. They should always be treated with respect and kindness, and if you treat them with kindness, they will respond very well. Ponies usually love attention and affection unless they have had bad experiences, and they are herd animals who prefer to have pony friends who can help them look out for danger, which the ponies will typically run away from danger, although they do tend to be a little bit more likely to stand and fight than a horse will. At the sanctuary, however, the ponies here have completely forgotten that they were once prey animals. They will all lay down and sleep together and not worry about any kind of predators. A pony will usually let you know when they're sick or injured because they don't hide it like a donkey will. Ponies are not the little devils everybody thinks they are. Although they are very opinionated, if you treat them with kindness and respect, and if you enjoy their personalities and don't try to make them into a horse, then you can really, really enjoy them, and they are a lot of fun. Donkeys are a lot more stoic than a pony. You have to watch for very subtle signs in order to identify pain in a donkey or illness, because they tend to hide it a lot more. They're a lot less reactive than a pony or a mule. They will freeze instead of run away from danger. Then they will assess the situation and decide whether fight or flight is the better option. They are not stubborn, contrary to popular belief, and this is one of the biggest things that I always want to tell people about donkeys. They are not stubborn. They are self-preservationists. So they will not go anywhere that they think is dangerous. They will not put themselves in danger, and no amount of force from you can change their mind. But they are highly, highly intelligent animals, and you can show them what to do and they will learn from it. For example, when I was teaching Jackie to load in the trailer, he was terrified, would not go in until I went in and out a few times, or he watched Putty go in and out a few times. And then he decided that it was safe enough for him to actually go in. They're a lot more subtle than a pony in their reactions. When a pony or a horse reacts to something, their reaction level will be up here. And this is like the highest point. They're scared, you can tell. Their eyes get big, they're going to run, whatever. That's up here. When a donkey has the same amount of fear as a horse, their reaction level will be down here. So they may have the same amount of fear as a horse that looks like it's reacting really strongly. They may have the same amount of fear, but their reaction level will only be down here. So you have to look for a lot more subtle signs in a donkey in order to tell that what they're afraid of and that they're having fear. So donkeys require a lot more attention to the really subtle little details when you're trying to decide what is causing a behavioral issue. Donkeys react very, very well to positive reinforcement training, and they are often smarter than humans, which is one of the reasons why donkeys are some of the most abused animals in the world. Donkeys and mules tend to be very abused because they outsmart humans quite easily, and that makes humans feel stupid, and then they will abuse them to show their control. So this is often a problem that leads to abuse in donkeys and mules. Donkeys are more of a fight animal than a flight one. They will attack dogs, coyotes, cougars even, to protect their herd. This is why people often will use donkeys or mules as herd protection animals. We do not recommend using miniature donkeys for herd protection. We know that people do use donkeys for herd protection, but we highly, highly recommend that you do not use miniature donkeys for herd protection, because they will try to fight the predators, but they are small enough that they could get killed easily. If a donkey is going to help protect a herd, they need to be at least standard size, preferably large standard. Donkeys also really enjoy affection, especially ear rubs and bum scratches. They bond extremely closely with other donkeys, And the loss of a bonded friend can actually be life-threatening to them. So they need to be watched very carefully to make sure that they eat or drink if they're grieving. Last winter, Horton here lost his bonded mate, who was Henrietta. And we had to watch him very carefully. He had a lot of trouble. He lost a lot of weight through the spring and into the summer. And he was definitely grieving. Thankfully, he's hooked up with the other donkeys and is hanging out with them now. But we had to watch him very carefully. He was losing hair, everything. And now he has really bounced back in the last little bit here. So that's good, because it is very hard on them to lose a bonded mate. When treated with kindness, donkeys can be some of the most loving and gentle companions that you have ever met. Mules are the most difficult equines to train because they have very long memories and they are highly intelligent. Once a mule has been abused, it takes a lot of work to gain their trust, and they are often abused because they outsmart their owners, like I mentioned before. Mules have the intelligence of their donkey parent and the energy of their horse parent, so that leads to an interesting combination. Mules will often freeze at danger, like a donkey would, but then they will run and flee. So they tend to be a little bit more unpredictable that way than a horse or a donkey. You're never 100% sure when they're going to decide that they need to run. Mules can also fight instead of flee, and our mules, because they don't feel like they're prey animals, tend to fight instead of flee. So you have to be very careful around them with dogs and that sort of thing, because they will chase dogs out of the pen. Even dogs that they know, like our dogs, they will chase them right out of the pen. You need to treat mules with patience and kindness, or you will not be able to work successfully with them. But once you have earned the trust of a mule, you will have a best friend for your life. Mules prefer the company of other mules because they enjoy very aggressive play fighting. Sometimes they look like they're actually fighting, but they are playing. Mules are very playful and they really enjoy enrichment toys, and they also love ear rubs and bum scratches like a donkey.